Hello everyone, this is the William Red Fox and welcome to my world. So today I'm actually going to do a 2000 day Skyblock survival tour because I'm actually overdue this. I do think it would be nice to actually show you guys around just so that anyone who's new to the channel can actually keep up to date with what's going on with the world and how it's been progressing over time. So without any further ado, this is actually the beginning island, so this is where I actually started the world. More precisely, this bit of grass here is where I started the world. Originally the world was just a single biome of a plains biome with no landmass. That's why you see these villages like hanging out underneath. So over there you can just see there's a church just where the cursor is, and over here I think you could get a clearer view. Now these villages are a little weird because of the way that the generation is done. They don't actually have any floors for the houses, so any villages that were in them would just simply fall out of the sky. So you can't actually get villages that way. The only way you can get them is through zombification and like treating them and turning them back into villages. Yeah, one of the first things actually that happened on this world is that once I took down the tree here, I actually lost the oak sapling. So I couldn't actually get wood for a while. That's why you don't really see much wood around other than the numerous chests that have been scattered across here. I should really go through and actually sort these out because I'm sure they have so much in them. And because I lost the oak sapling so early, I actually had to use a plank and a lava bucket to light this pole so I had any chance of this world actually taking off. I didn't want to just give up and start again, so yeah, that was quite fun to try and work out how to get that working again. And after getting the villagers turned over, I was able to actually get this up and running since I could get gold from in there, and I did have a few apples from the tree that I did get. From there, I was able to use these guys to then gain an iron farm. I also did this so that I could gain some animals like cows, pigs, sheep, but over time they have kind of just disappeared, and now I'm left with a couple horses and one sheep. So I may have to start working on trying to get them animals back and like make a little island for them, try and get some sort of supply going. Oh, I also did the most basic farm possible for a mob farm that I feel like everyone does for a Skyblock world, so that's in here. Now, given the height that we're currently at, it's a bit weird, so glow squids like to spawn in there and just sit in there. So every now and then they fall down and you just get some glowing ink sacs. Of course, we also have the end portal. Now, I gave myself the portal frames because the way that the terrain generation works in here, there is no strongholds. So I wanted to be able to do the end and do some things with that, as well as gain elytras, shulker shells, that sort of stuff. So I gave myself that frame, and then once I had it all ready and set up, I built this farm so I could also get sand. And the reason for the lodestone is because I've got a data pack that makes a chunk loader out of lodestones, just so it can make it a little bit easier getting sand, and just so certain things can have it all loaded. For example, right down at the bottom there, that is actually a collection of zombies that are over there. Well, zombie villagers that I've traded with so that they can lock in place. That way they're a permanent mob. And then with the chunk loader, I can use that to stop any mobs from spawning. Makes it so much easier in a Skyblock world, and makes it so much easier when I'm building the bigger projects that I do, or plan to do. And finally, for this section of the world, actually, it's this. Now, the reason why this is here is because when I first used the sand duplicator, I was just throwing sand straight into the void. I forgot to build like the catching side on the other end. So I put about a, chest full worth of sand through to the end, and then it had to try and work out all of that rendering of dropping an entity into a void, which just completely broke the world. So I was unable to actually do anything. So with the help of a friend, he was able to save the world, but because the world location is a bit different from each world, the world data had it so that this portal was the main portal that was made, but when you go through here and then come back through, you end up there. So just to quickly show you, I jump in through here, and then once through here, that direction is where the next place is going to be, so we're going to go back that way in just a moment. But just to show you, back through the portal, and we're all the way up here. I don't know why it works like that. I don't know if it's like a mapping issue where the portals aren't lined up properly or what, but it's too technical for me to figure out. So I've just left it as is, and I will just have a ladder that comes down and back up again. Luckily, this is the only major one where there's a major difference between the two portals. Other portals had to move 1 or 2 blocks, but it wasn't too much of an issue. But now we've got a long walk because I had decided for some reason that in the Skyblock world I wanted a bit of distance between the different parts. So this pathway is actually 1,000 blocks. So I'm going to have to walk all the way to the other end so we can go to where we're currently based and see what we're doing there. So now that's the portal that leads over to my other island, and I kind of now worked out where all of my animals have gone. They've pretty much just decided to live in the Nether now. But before we do go through the portal, we're going to go over this way. Now, Through that portal over there, that is the mob farm. Now, it's not that interesting. It's just a generic mob farm that is pretty much built by most people who want a much better automated farm. But we'll take a quick look. As you can see, it's just a generic one. You got a massive plate on the top so that it pretty much covers all of the different levels. You have an automatic system where it washes them down into a basin, down into a secondary basin which has the campfires at the bottom, which sit here, and then over into the chests. Now this is a pain to use because my current mob switch is back at the spawn, so I have to travel 1,000 blocks to turn it off, then to travel 1,000 blocks back to come back here, do the mob farm, then head back again to travel 1,000 blocks to turn the mob switch back on. So bit of a pain. Might have to move it. Might have to move the mob switch if that's possible. Now, off to the side of the actual portal going to the mob farm, I've actually got 2 other farms. This one is an obsolete one that I need to tidy up and actually move all of the inventory out of and move up to the top near the second one. This was the piglin trading farm. I've got quite a few because I thought, I have more and you'll be able to process it quicker. Yeah, it was quicker, but it is a pain to actually go through all of the materials, so I actually built a secondary one, which is this one. Now this isn't as fast, but it doesn't need to be, because right on top of it is the gold farm. So when the gold comes straight through, I can choose to either store it up here and actually trade it later on with the clerics back in the overworld, or I can have it trade straight through into the materials that I need here. Also, the reason why there's only a select few of blocks that are actually getting saved from the trades is because these are the ones that are useful. The string can be turned into wool, the quartz and nether brick can be building blocks. Same with the obsidian, black rock I think that is. I don't actually know what the name is that. Is it blackstone? I don't know. Brown obsidian and sandstone all can be used as building material, and then the gravel can be used as dirt, which is a very powerful thing because in this world you have only the limited amount of dirt and you have to make it yourself, so that is a powerful trade. Now this gold farm actually contains an item I had to spawn into the world. I mentioned this in my last video, I had spawned 2 items in, and I'll show you the second one when we go back to the main area that we're currently in. But in this one we had to spawn in a turtle egg. The turtle egg, I felt like you should have had it at the beginning, but didn't give it myself, so I have a punishment lined up, and that's what's going to be worked on after this video, but I'll mention that a little bit more later. Now we're going to head through the portal and go see where we're currently based. So this side we've actually got quite a few things going, so we're going to go this way first. Now over here we have a villager breeder again, we have a church, we have the village over there, and we have this, which is just the smelting pot. Now the reason why these are here, the church is there to make it resemble the clerics. So under here we've actually got a trading spot for the clerics. Same for the village, has a trading spot for farmers, and then over here we have the tradings for the blacksmith. So as you can see, they're all filled up, they've all got trades that I can use. These ones are mainly for iron, then the clerics are for gold, and then the farmers are mainly potatoes, because I can actually grow them quite easily with so much bone meal that I get. And an added bonus, they're all connected as well. So whenever I needed to move them through, I could get them through here. And then that's got a sword over there, so I can convert them, make them a little bit cheaper, so that way I can get more materials for less emeralds. Now moving over to the other side, I've actually made this path right through the middle of the island because it's just so much easier just to go back and forth. On this side, we actually have all the farms. Now what you're seeing in front of us is a massive farm solely to get stone. What happens is that we actually use the tree farm over there, which we'll go over and have a look in a minute. And we put the wood in the top, that then converts through to charcoal, splitting it between the 4 different furnace arrays here. Then on the inside, there's a cobblestone farm where I can put the cobblestone onto the rails that go into all the farms and actually fills up that, going into the arrays and then goes into a main storage. Now this building itself was literally built up of many different types of farms and storage systems, so there is quite a few different pieces going on, and then this was just designed to go over the top, which only recently I've only noticed that kind of looks like a face. So that's quite funny. But as you can see, there's a network of rails and carts going all the way through, transporting all the materials, and this is the main storage for the stone. But if we go this way a little bit more, you'll see that these are all the different dividers, splitting up all the different stones and all the different cobbles. I said cobblestone then. What I mean is the stone and the coal, and dividing it between the 4 different arrays that are over this way. Yeah, you probably could make a quicker farm that's a bit more efficient, but I wanted to go for looks over efficiency, which I kind of regret because I've got a pretty big build that requires a lot of stone, which I'll get back to in a moment. But for now, on the right here, we have a pumpkin farm, and then on the back here, we have a seed farm. The reason why I've got a seed farm is because I have a data pack that helps me get grass a little bit easier. Rather than having to wait for it to grow, I can use a dirt block and grass seeds. Sorry, not grass seeds, wheat seeds. I can put them two together and they will make grass rather than having to wait for it to grow and spread. Makes it a little bit quicker, especially when you have to build the land yourself. It just makes things so much faster. Then on this side, we have melon farms either side, and then on the back here, we have a tree farm and a bamboo farm, which is the second item that I spawned into this world. Now, I should really have given it to me at the beginning because there's no way of actually getting bamboo in a plains biome. You can get bamboo by fishing in a jungle biome, but this whole world is one plains biome. Now, all of these farms have been chosen specifically so that we can improve and build on what's to come next, because this isn't going to be the final base. This is just for now so that I can start projects that I want to build while also gaining the materials to build bigger and better. Now, after mentioning the bamboo and the turtle egg, I do have two punishments coming up. I feel that yes, I should have had those items to begin with, but because I didn't do that and I simply had to use them afterwards, I feel like it's only right that I do a punishment. Now, the punishment is going to be a big punishment. That way it stops me from going, well, if I'm spawning these in, I can spawn other things in. Those punishments are going to come into the next episodes, which are going to take a while. And the reason for that is because I designed them that way. You see, one of the punishments is going to take so long to actually get the materials needed to complete, and that's the whole premise of the punishment. What I plan to do is get quite a lot of emeralds to actually build a project. So once I've got that set up, you'll see in the video why it took so long, and why we have 3 different farms filled with villagers. I believe each one of these farms have 20 blacksmiths, 20 farmers, and 20 clerics. It's going to take me a while. But not to spoil anything, we're actually going to head down this path, because this was the path that I built in the last 1000 day video. And I want to show you where we're currently at the 2000 day part. Well, the 2137 day part. But again, this is another 1000 block path. So it's quite long, takes a while. I really do need to get a faster way of moving around. Last but not least, we're over here at what I'm doing in the background. Now, I've left in the light marker model just so you can kind of get a gist of what sizing we're going for this project. It is absolutely huge, and I'm actually doing this in the background. Now, I don't know how long I've put into making this, because I don't know how long I've spent gaining materials, because at the moment I only know how much time I've spent on the recordings I've done to show what's being built. Just on those time-lapse pieces, I think there's like 12 hours worth of footage. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to condense down into one episode once this is finally done. But I'm going to give you the sneak preview now just so you can see the little bits and pieces that are being worked on. I think I'm halfway done on the edge of this, and I do need the other half doing. So that's going to be a whole thing I'm going to do between episodes. But that is the end of the episode, so I hope you enjoy this little catch up. The videos are going to take a little bit longer because I am going to be getting those punishments out of the way. So I am going to be doing other things just to keep the videos going, and so you have something to watch while I'm in the process of working on these much bigger projects. And then hopefully we'll see how things go. I might keep doing the smaller videos along with this project, or I might just let them fall to the side a bit. Don't quite know how the timing's going to work, but we'll see how that goes. For now, I'll see you in the next episode.